Hey folks, Bob here. Thought I'd give you a little Furious update, kind of a podcast style. It's been really hot last couple weeks, brutal. Matter of fact, there was a couple days the heat got to me. Felt kind of bad, felt really bad. Missed a couple days work, but back at it again, doing okay. Been out working on Furious. I had when I took it to the track the last time, had a major carburetor bog. I've only made 6 passes on this car this year. The very last pass, it ran at 8:32, which is the quickest the car's ever run. That was 8th mile, and that's with the bog. I had to roll it off the line and still bogged, and it ran at 8:32. My 60-foot number was off about 700s, maybe a little bit more than 7 or 800s. So that tells me the car has got about an 820 in it, maybe a little bit more, which ain't bad for this old brick. Now, I put another carburetor on it, and a 750 double pumper. What was on it was a 750 vacuum second. I put a 750 double pumper on off the shelf. Carburetor had dust on it. Bolted it on, and it ran really well. Ran really well in the garage. Anyway, I never took it to the track, but I had a fuel leak. And thinking back on it now, I probably should have tried bending the line. I think I had the line at a bad angle. It's a hard line, but I probably should have tried to bend it, kind of like a brake line. Ended up, my buddy Ken had a dual line, a flexible dual line with braided hose in between. He gave that to me, and I brought it home, and I looked inside of it, and the hose had collapsed. So I want no way to use that. So what I thought I would do, I would just take the braided part off and just put a piece of rubber fuel line on it, just to get the car running for right now. Because the carburetor seemed really good. But what I failed to do is I had a piece of brand new rubber hose rolled up in the coil on the shelf. But apparently a dirt dauber or something had tried to build a nest in the darn thing, and I didn't even think to blow the hose out. I just put it on because it was a brand new hose, and fired the car up, and it ran for a little while pretty nice. Then it started running like crap, and I couldn't even get it idle. I'm like, what on earth has happened? And it dawned on me. I bet there was trash in that fuel line. I didn't think to clean it out. So sure enough, I cut the car off and pulled the fuel line back apart. There's dirt all in the fuel line, a brand new fuel line. So I knew then I had to take the carburetor apart. So I took the carburetor apart, cleaned it all out, blew all the ports out, the passageways out. There was grit and dirt in both bowls of the carburetor. Put it all back together, cleaned it up, put it all back together, and it runs okay. That did fix the fuel leak, and but now it's not running good. It's gone back to having a little bit of a bog, and it's got a little bit of a misfire around 1200 RPM. It's never had that. I don't know what in the world is causing that. I have no clue. It's got something to do with the carburetor, I'm sure. That's the only thing I've been messing with for the last month is the carburetor. So I was going to take it to the track and just see maybe it needs cleaning out. Maybe it's got a little piece of trash in it or something. The bog is right dead on off throttle, so I'll spool the thing up to stall the converter. So it didn't seem to have a bog at 2,000 RPM when you whack the throttle. Just had that misfire. And it's a slight misfire. So I looked at the discharge nozzles. They look like they're pumping really, really good streams of fuel, so I don't know what it could be. But like I said, maybe it's just some trash hung up in the carburetor somewhere. So anyhow, that's the plan, is to take it to the track. I was going to tune on this. It's got 4-corner idling. I was going to maybe tune on that a little bit with a vacuum gauge. See if I could smooth it out a little bit that way. Maybe when I took it apart, I bumped some of those settings. I don't know. I haven't retuned on that since I put it back together. Anyway, we get to the body work. I had been working on the driver's side from the lower quarter panel up through the door. I've made a lot of progress on that. It's got a lot of rot, had a lot of holes, a lot of rust holes in the quarter panel. And the previous owner somewhere down the road had smothered it in Bondo. Had about a 1/4 inch stick of Bondo on it. And the door is kind of the same way. It's got a lot of Bondo in the door, enormous amount of Bondo in the very bottom of the door. Not on the outside of the door, but the bottom at the rocker seal. It's practically, all of that's Bondoed in there. So what I may do is go buy some of that screen matting that they sell, and you fiberglass over that, and you stick it in there. and that'll give the metal something to hold to, and may put some of that patches of that in there, because where am I going to find another door at? And this door has already been lightened with Lexan and everything, so that's where we're at right now. And I did source a 410 gear with a spool from my buddy Alan Spence down in Mississippi. It was in a car that I sold him several years ago, and he's going to go to a 456 gear, so I offered to buy that old gear from him. He shipped that to me. The gear looks like it's in good shape, so I'll pull the 373 Sure Grip out, put the 410 spool in, and that should help even more. Now the car, I never really thought I'd be racing the car. Maybe later in the year I thought I might race it. I knew all along this was going to be a test and tune year, and then during the summer I was going to try to work on the body, and was hoping to have the body and paint sometime in August, and that's not going to happen. These rust holes surprised me. I mean, it's a lot of stuff's got to be fixed. It's not a simple fix a few little spots here and there and just scuff it up, prime it, and paint it. I've been working on the body of this car for 2 weeks, so haven't even started on sanding on it, so the rest of the car. So the goal of getting the car out again now is this season is probably lost. I don't want to race it with the Sure Grip. I've already blown one Sure Grip, so hopefully we get the gear with the spool put in it soon, and hopefully the car will run even better than that 832, and it'll blow it. If there is trash in the carburetor, it'll blow it out. If not, I'll take the carburetor apart one more time and blow it out. So that's where we're at, folks. I think this car has got a 7 in it, but it's going to take a little work. I think it's an easy 8, high 18. Should be able to make that fairly easy, but you get it on down into the 7s, it's going to take a little bit more tuning, a little bit more work, but we'll get there. Like I said, I've known all along this was going to be a test and tune year. I've owned this car a few years, and I've only made it so many passes down the track with it. So we got some aero stuff we got to work on. It's a handful on the top end. It really is. I got to get that more stable. But that's where we're at, folks. Hope you enjoy the car as it comes along. We're making progress. It's probably the fastest late B body of that body style normally aspirated out there. It's got to be, especially in the Plymouth line of things. There's a couple of Magnums out there that are pretty quick. So anyway, that's where we're at, folks. I hope you enjoy that. I'll be back with you.